What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Shaka Antoine. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about spot burning and 7 ways on how a spot can be burned. Oh, but first, before we go any further, like always, I want to ask you guys, can you please smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, make sure it's on all so that you get notified when I come out with the next video. I'd greatly appreciate it. Okay, now there's going to be a bit of a disclaimer for this video. This video and this topic is not the purpose of me to step on anybody's toes, to be disrespectful to anyone, nor do I intend to downplay any of anyone's actions. This is just basically for educational purposes and to kind of address the elephant in the room, or some of the things that I may have seen and some of the things that have occurred while fishing and over the years in terms of burning spots down. It's just for educational purposes. If by any chance you may feel that I am talking about you or something that you have done personally, address me directly, either in the DMs or, call me if you have my phone number. But I'm not trying to put anybody down here. We're just having a discussion and, to address the issue of spot burning. So don't get offended, all right? Just so we can have a discussion and talk about the issue. Well, first, let me start off by just identifying what is spot burning and how the effects of spot burning can have on not just the fishery, but locations and our access to these various locations that we like to fish. When a spot is burned, you give unnecessary and unwanted attention to that particular location. Let's say, for instance, if a bite is taking place on a beach that is public, let's say it's only public for a certain amount of hours. A hot bite takes place there. If you broadcast the location or you mention in your posts where it is, then the next day, or maybe in a few hours, that place is going to be littered with people that wouldn't necessarily be there. Or maybe they have fished there before, but now they see that you're onto a hot bite. Everybody's going to be there. It's going to crowd the place. Just a good recipe for a lot of bad things to happen. We could actually eventually lead to no longer having access to that location through the town or whatever. It has happened before. Trust me, it has happened before. Where a spot is blown up, an influx of fishermen and people come there, and the residents don't like that, so they speak to their town hall people, and next we can no longer fish there. Happens too often. Or here comes a new permit to fish that particular location. So that basically what spot burning is. You blow up a particular spot, mentioning where it is, online or to whomever, and then next thing you know, the place is just flooded with 100 folks the next day or in a couple of hours. That in itself is spot burning. And also, which I'll discuss a little bit later, but not editing any photos or posts that you plan on posting. But I'll get into that in just a little bit. So let's now talk about number 1. Spots are burned by making live videos while the action is going on. You're at a spot, you see people are catching, you pull out your phone or your camera, whichever the capabilities are for you to stream the action. That's a big no-no. And that is how spots are burned. I know you may get excited, but please, man, refrain from doing that kind of thing. Or, you post a video from that day of that particular bite. That's the first way. Number 2, and this one is an iffy one here, but it happens. When calls are made, calls to people that aren't actively fishing at the time that the bite is happening. This happens a lot. This happens a lot. And I'm going to be fair. There is a gray line in that. There's a gray area. But the biggest no-no is you're out fishing, you're onto a hot bite. The next you call someone that that is not fishing at that day anywhere else, but you call them, yo, it's going down, such and such, 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 right here, right now. Come on, get over here. You want to get here. That's a nice way to burn down the spot, because you never know who that person is going to call, right? So it's really up to you and your discretion as to who you call. You have to know the intentions or the character of that person that you're calling. Is that someone that's going to make another phone call to the next person? Then the next person is going to make another phone call. The next you know, that place is just burned down, right? Now, there is a gray area. What's the gray area in that? Let's say you are a part of a network of either a small group of fishermen, your trusted boys, or what have you, people that you know are not going to blow the spot up, right? So you got a little clique, you know what I'm saying? You call those individuals because those individuals have the understanding that they're not going to go out and just tell everyone or tell anyone that's not in your own little network there. That sort of thing is okay, as long as, you know, you keep it within that circle and you don't share it with someone else that's not in the circle, or someone that you know is going to tell someone else. You know who they are. So number 3 is going to be posting about a bite that is currently going on. What I mean by posting, I mean whatever photos you've taken, whatever video you've recorded the action with, posting it the same day or as that bite is still taking place. That can be considered spot burning. It's always best to delay your posts, your photos, your videos, delay it. How long? Well, you know, I have learned or just felt comfortable with a week, at least a week, at the earliest a week. But there are times when even a week is too soon. Let's say the bite, you know, has been going on for a week or more. Then in that situation, I would suggest you wait until that particular bite is over. And say you've been going there every single day and you've gotten into fish every single day. Then I would suggest to you, wait until that bite is at least has slowed or is no longer happening. Then you can post about it. I know that can be difficult. It's difficult for me sometimes. But, you know, if you get into the culture of doing that, then it lessens the pressure on that site, and it lessens, you know, you spot burning that particular bite. Let's get right into talking about number 4. Well, number 4, I believe I just covered it. So number 4 is not waiting 1 to 2 weeks or until the bite is over. Number 5, not editing the background in your photo, or even in some cases your videos. This is huge. This is really a huge concern, because let's say you take a photo and you want to post it. You've waited the appropriate amount of time, but then you don't edit the background, or you don't edit out certain things that are identifiable. Becomes a real big problem. That can be considered spot burning. Number 6, which is going to be mentioning the location and direction and any wrong locations in the post. What I'm saying is this. Let's say you were at Jones Beach. Okay, let's just use that as an example. The bite took place at Jones Beach. You've waited the appropriate amount of time. When you go to post, don't mention that it was at Jones Beach, obviously, right? But also, don't mention that it was somewhere else. Like say, don't mention that it was at Far Rockaway, because now you're burning Far Rockaway down. You know what I'm saying? So just kind of refrain from mentioning where at all costs. You know, sometimes some people may feel comfortable with saying, oh, it was the South Shore, North Shore, Western Long Island, East End. I myself am not comfortable with that kind of thing. It's just unnecessary to mention whereabouts. My philosophy is, if you know, you know. And you'll only know that if you know where that is, or if you were present and then you see my post or what have you. That's the only way that you're going to figure it out from my posts. At least that's my goal. So, I don't, try not to mention specific locations, even if it's general. Like I don't like to nowadays. Before, back in the days, I didn't have an issue with that, but now I do. And you'll understand what I mean when I say that, right? So at this time, I'm going to give a small demonstration as to what I mean about number 5, about editing the background of your photos, and in some cases, your videos. Let's say this is a fish that I just caught, right? And I want to take a nice photo, right? Now, the background, this is the background of my set, but let's just say that this is the background of some buildings or something is in the background that I don't necessarily want to be posted. But even before that, let's just say a little bit of a rule of thumb. Always consider what is going to be in the background. And what I try to do is select or position myself wherein I'll have to edit the background the least. If I don't have to edit it at all, that would be perfect. For instance, like I'll always take my photos from somewhat of a low angle, just way that the background, you're going to get more sky or more open water. My two goals are to get either sky or mostly open water. Unfortunately, there are some places where you just won't be able to get open water. There may be some buildings or there's something in the background that is easily identifiable as the location as to where you are. So you kind of want to try to get that out of the frame of the picture. But if it's not, let's just say it's not possible. So I know that I'm going to have to edit it later. All right, so I'm going to do this. Here's my fish, right? I'm going to say cheese. Now I got my photo. So now what I'm going to have to do is, before I post it, I'm going to have to edit all of this out. Let's say I wanted to get rid of or not show all the plugs on my wall, and also including the reel. Then one quick way of editing would just be this. You go to the photo itself, bring up this portion of your screen, go to the photo and hit this here, edit. Now what's going to pop up, now your phone or whatever app you may use may be different, but mine, when I hit filters, I can then select, is it stickers? Okay, yes, I could then select, this will come up right here on the bottom right. Select that. This is like a blur effect. Now I can select the regular blur, or I could select the pixelated version. Let's go with the pixelated version first. Now you can do a 1-step or a 2-step process. Being that is selected, I can select the size here if I wanted to. Just leave it around there. And then now I just have to outline what it is that I want to be pixelated. Circle it. Right? Just massage over the area, and guess what? That's one stage. I can still see that those are plugs right there. Let's just say I didn't want to know, I didn't want others looking to see that those are plugs. So I would just go over the area over and over again. Now that's a stage 1 of the first pass. Let's say I wanted to go even further. After doing the pixelated background, you can go over to the blur, right? The blur should smooth that out a little bit more. Just a little bit more. So it's not so pixelated. Or if you didn't want to do the pixelated first, you can do the blur first. If you just wanted to blur. Now this is the manual blur. Then I'd have to go in there and erase, because I just went over my head there a little bit. But as if you just wanted to manually blur it. There are some applications that you can use where it will automatically blur the background if you have, access to such things. So that can be something that's hidden, and just a nice, great way to edit the background. What I don't like to see, it's just my personal preference here, is this. hate seeing that. Hate it. Literally hate it. Just messes up the photo and it's just pointless. In my opinion, of course, but wouldn't you agree? Right now, this leads us up to number 7. The 7th way that you can prevent spot burning. And this one I had to learn the hard way, which is going to be GPS, geotags, location services, all of those, whichever type of device you're using, has to be turned off. This is very, very, very important. From my days of being on Northeast, I learned that the hard way. You know, some of you that are watching this video may be from that time. And there was a tactic that I was unaware of that I became aware of through someone that were reading my post and decided to let me know how not to spot burn, which I didn't even consider this spot burning, but it was ignorance. I didn't know. So that's why I didn't feel like I was spot burning. You know, in my reports on Northeast, I used to unknowingly have my GPS on. Now, when I had my GPS on, there was GPS data stored electronically now in the photo. There was this website. If I can find the website, I'll list it. But there is this website wherein all you had to do was copy and paste the photo information or the photo itself into this search bar, and it will pinpoint exactly where the photo was taken. So here I am now thinking I'm not spot burning, but I'm not giving the location. I'm editing my photos. I'm doing all the right things that I've mentioned previously. But I was unaware that having my GPS on will exactly pinpoint where that photo was taken. When it was brought to my attention, I did not accept it. I was like, I'm not spot burning. I'm not spot. There's no way that I'm spot burning. I'm not mentioning so and so. And then the person said, just turn off your GPS on your phone. I was like, huh? What does that have to do with anything? When he forwarded me the link and I saw it, I was gut wrenched. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I felt violated. I literally felt violated. That was the feeling that I had. So you know what I did? I went and I tried to see if it would work on anyone else's posts and photos. Everyone else except me had the GPS turned off. You can imagine how I felt. Now, this is important not just for phishing. And please understand this point, what I'm trying to make here. It's not just important for phishing and posts like that. Think about it this way, right? You go, you take a picture of your family, your kids or whatever, right? Let's say it's at their school or it's at your home, right? You have GPS or location services on. Any pedophile, if they wanted to get to you or your kids or you know, your home, whatever, burglars even, they'll know exactly where you are and you can be tracked that way. Not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but there's a whole lot of services that are available now, right? Through that GPS information in your phone that may be undesirable. You'll find them undesirable, but can be curtailed as long as you have your GPS or location services turned off. You know, there is, at that time, back in the Northeast days, I also used to use that to log, because that same GPS location information, every time I took a photo, or if I was using Google Maps, or what my phone used to do there was put together a little memory slideshow, and I used that to log. So if I was looking at my maps, the pictures that I took will pop up, and I was like, oh, okay, right. So I would jot that information down. It was very helpful. At the same time, unbeknownst to me, I was spot burning. It was giving up my location. So I want to just urge you guys, especially with all the Google search information that can be used to market you and, you know, customizable marketing. Most people I know don't like that kind of thing. That can be curtailed if you turn off GPS services or location services, geotags, whichever it's called for your device. All right, so let's try and turn those off. Well, all right, well, that's going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please continue to stay tuned to the channel. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave that in the comments below. Any video suggestions that you would like for me to make in the future, let me know in the comments below. All right, so please have a blessed day and peace out.